Welcome to Tannic Grips, everyone.
Hello.
This is installment probably 35?
I don't know.
40? It's for sure more than 10.
Yes. Less than 100. So math is where we're at.
Where we're at today. And Britt and I were like, well, so what are we going to talk about today? And you were like Austrian wines, and we're almost there. 2 of these wines are from Austria. And then I was like, well, what? These are things I think most people may not have heard of. Mm-hmm. But then we almost settled on last week that they all have pretty terrible labels.
Yep.
So this could either be things you may not have heard of, courtesy of Tannic Grips, 2/3 Austrian wine, or terrible labels, but great wine.
All great wine, yeah. I really want to have like a little party, when it all feels safe, and everybody brings a wine that they're really excited to try, but they really hate the label. And that's subjective, we're not here to judge anybody's, I'm here to judge everybody's labels, but,
I'm going to judge your shirt, and I'm going to say it's the best t-shirt that anybody has in the city of Minneapolis.
Except for other people that have the same t-shirt.
I went to Palmer's Bar, and all I got was drunk, which, yes.
Support local businesses.
That's exactly what we're saying. On to Wimmer Czerny's Roter Veltliner. Who has heard of Roter Veltliner out there? Raise your hand. I mean, we're in the business, so okay. But raise your hand if you have. Yeah. Roter Veltliner is a really cool grape that actually is native to Austria, they think. It has no relationship to Grüner Veltliner, but if you like Grüner, you should check it out because it's every bit as delicious. What do you think about this? So,
the biggest comparison that I make with Grüner Veltliner is that I think it's a little bit like Roter Veltliner. It's got all of the tart stone fruit vibe, whereas I get so much green apple from Roter Veltliner always, which I love, and citrus, but it's grassy versus peachy, and but still very acidic, still dry, still a little salty and lip smacking. I love this wine. I've had it a few times. I've had different Roter Veltliners. Sometimes they're incredibly juicy. There's one that I've had that it reminded me so much of just biting into the perfect pear, and it's just spot on and delicious. It's got a lot of flexibility.
I love that you're in a t-shirt and I'm in a sweater. I'm cold.
I'm medium cold. I don't know. I've been moving.
This wine is medium cold. Okay, so this is all biodynamic fruit. Yep. We are just east of really expensive vineyard territory. The region called the Kamptal is very expensive. And so the fact that this guy is located, Hans Czerny, is located in Fels am Wagram, is Roter Veltliner has been growing here since Roman times. All the fruit is biodynamic. He's only doing native ferments, meaning naturally fermented wine. But it's a place where we can get great quality wine at, not a Kamptal price tag.
Yeah, it's really
not nice. A Kamptal without the Kamptal price tag.
Yeah. Drink Kamptal if you can, but just go there and drink it. It'll be cheaper there.
It's true. The berries in Roter Veltliner, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit rounder than Grüner, and you can kind of taste that. It's a little fleshier.
Yes. I think that's always my favorite thing about it, is because it's a little broader on the palate. I suppose, it also has, this kind of same thing that coastal vines have, or coastal wine has. There's this, when we were saying something smells like the sea, and I can't smell it, but you can, because the sea has some things in it that have smell. This is this cool seaweed note on it, and if I were to guess, these wines come from an area on the Danube, and so that's definitely going to have
Danau, as they like to call it.
Kindergarten. I don't speak German. But yeah, so it's definitely going to have that. The soils are really they don't do any irrigation in the area because they retain water really well. So it does have a fleshier, riper flavor to it, and I really like it. I think it's $24.99 on our shelves. Just right around.
If it's not, you'll find out when our friend Dan puts in the slide. Yeah, it's $24.99. We're pretty sure.
Bingo.
Just flying south. So this one is we're just northwest of Vienna, the capital. Now we're flying south to a region called Burgenland. Raise your hand if you have heard of Gemischter Satz. Okay, well, we're in the business again. But how many of you have heard of Gemischter Satz? It's one of my favorite things. It basically means a hodgepodge of grapes, which this is, from a hodgepodge of age of vines, usually, and can be from different sites, can be from only one site. In Vienna, it's actually a regulated term, but here in the Burgenland, we have a producer called Josef, The wine is called Mischkultur, or a mishmash, mixed culture, which it is, of grapes, and it's really, really beautiful. Do you know the grapes in this, or should I tell everybody what
I
grapes?
mean,
You know?
yes.
Yes.
Muscateller.
Yes.
Riesling.
Welschriesling.
Riesling, and
Gruner. Neuburger.
Okay.
And there may be a few other grapes in there. Traminer, I think, is in there. But what we're trying to say is the wine is delicious. The wine is very aromatic. It's dry. Even though it's got a bottle cap, no sparkle. Still delicious. It's pretty gulp-worthy wine here.
Definitely. We tasted it a year ago. Or I tasted it a year ago. We opened it in the shop for back when we could have people to, do that, live that life.
Yeah, I featured it. I loved it so much I featured it on a podcast. And Yosef is doing quite natural work down there. There's not a lot of people in Burgenland that are making wines like this producer is. And they're really, really great. If you want wine that is really complex, kind of yet really simple, like it can kind of be what anybody wants it to be, delicious stuff. You want to drink some more wine?
And it's like saving, I like the thing that this is a very slow food movement happening with the Gemischter.
It totally
what is it? How do I say it?
Gemischter Satz.
Gemischter Satz.
Kindergarten.
Yes, exactly. No, but it is. It's like really like it, and it also was kind of like it's economical. It helps you use the grapes you got and make it work no matter what.
These guys are I Love Lucying. They're like foot trotting all the grapes, and then they're aging it for a little bit of like half the wine is in stainless steel and half the wine is in old oak. So delicious stuff. That's and awesome. The label is, it's fine. This is probably the best label.
Loves it also. Hey,
that's cool. It's subjective. Art is subjective, which labels are.
So I'm going to first talk about this label. I have thoughts about it. I actually like this like watercolor in the background. I'm just so anti this font, and I think it's just really upsetting.
I think it reminds me in Extremadura, there's like a lot of there were a lot of crazy movies and stuff made about the people in Extremadura, which is crazy, and so this is kind of like haunting label. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But the font, the imagery, it doesn't matter because the wine inside is delicious. This is from a producer called Cerro de la Barca.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see.
Yo hablo español.
I do, un poco. But, I mean, mismo.
Extremadura, so we're far south, western Spain. We're on the border with Portugal here. And what we thought was cool about this was the grapes are they're 50% Cayetana and 50% Pardina, which if you consult a lot of books on grapes that are like this thick, and you consult the DNA of Cayetana, it basically says that it is the same grape. It's the same grape as Pardina. But then they say it's the parent of Pardina. All I really can tell you is it's the parent of Mencia, the red grape. So you should check it out. This is made with about a year of skin contact a month of skin contact in amphora, and then shy of a year aging. Before it comes to us.
It's also like crazy and expensive orange wine coming from Spain. That's pretty like ethically made. And,
whoa! Holy cow!
That's a crazy.
I almost just swore on air.
Can we? I'm sure I have.
You probably have. It tastes like an orange wine that tastes like white strawberries. It tastes like strawberries and cream. Holy cow! That's weird.
Wow! It really does.
It's creamy. It's very fruity, but it's definitely bone dry. And this is what, $25 or something? It's like a steal for orange wine that's made with very low amounts of sulfur.
Like crazy peach skin. Like it, when you're get that? Like mid palate?
It tastes like those little peach rings.
Yeah, and it's
like the candy.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's, again, it is dry, but I know we're saying things that might make you feel otherwise, but it's also got this really cool, like if you've ever smelled like Casa Patrano olives, like the brine, like the fruitiness of that specific olive on the nose is like all about that. So it's really savory. It's like, oh gosh, it reminds me of like truffled dwarf peaches, which I like had when I used to work in restaurants. I don't know, it was a really weird thing. When
I'm hugging you from like, 3 feet away. We're both vaxxed, whatever. I love it. I love it. It's delicious, isn't it? It's really fun. It's really unexpected.
Fun.
It's full-bodied. This chimes in at 14+% alcohol, so you got a nice amount of not only richness on the palate, but you do have a nice amount of heft. Excellent. Party time.
I'm just leaning into
woo. Yes, please do.
Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth.
All BioD fruit here, very low amounts of sulfur, and in somewhat of a, I don't want to say ugly, but, the label leaves a little bit to be desired. The wine, however, does not.
No, it doesn't. This is really fun. I'm actually really excited to have tried it.
What's the tannic grip on this guy? Okay, ready? I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 2.
Cute.
Tannic grips.
Tannic grips. Cheers, guys.
Enjoy, everybody. Enjoy these beautiful wines. 2/3 Austrian. Bet you never heard of them. Cayetana. Have you heard of Gemischter Satz?
You have now. Roter Veltliner. You got it. After this vid.